Hello, everyone. Welcome to another reading. This is a past life reading. I've never done a past life reading before. So if you want to hit that like button, do that now. If you like my style, if you like my channel, subscribe. Hit the bell below this video so that you can get notifications of when I post. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this beautiful journey of life with me. Yes, past lives, that's exciting stuff. Because what happens is when we pass in the previous life, when we come into this life, we always bring a little bit of that previous life energy into our current situation because we are forever evolving and growing from our experiences. So when we come into this life, it's not exactly a clean slate because we bring with us situations and things that was unfinished in the previous life to work on it and to evolve and grow from it and keep on continuing to grow. So I will put timestamps below this video for your readings while I'm chatting. Have a look and see which bundle you are drawn to. So this is bundle number 1, bundle number 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so what we do is basically in the first, I would say, 30 years of our life, we kind of work on situations and things that was themes that played a big part in our previous life. And then from about our midlife onwards, we get to work on taking a different direction and to bring in new energy and to integrate this current path into the old one. So if you need to make a change of direction or adjustments or anything, I feel like this is how our past lives is influencing this life. Okay, so we're not always aware of this, but we're going to dig in and we're going to see what information is coming to you. I will post below this video all the decks that I'm using as well. And please give me feedback. I love connecting with you and I love reading for you. So this is my first past life reading. Give me any kind of feedback or indication of what you thought of this, how I can improve my services to you, and also how you found this reading. If you have any questions, just leave those below and I'll get to you. Just a little bit busy on my side because I work in a grocery store and everyone knows that it's a little bit chaotic at the moment, universally speaking. That's a song that comes up. So if you resonate with disclaimer, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, then universally speaking is maybe a song that you would like to listen to. Okay, so let's jump in. Let's just making space for my cards so I can not get myself confused here. Thank you for your patience. I love sharing this journey. I love reading for you. Okay. So this is this little orangey stone. I think it's a sunstone. Deck number 1. Right. Are you ready? Greco-Roman. So you would have some time spent in good old Roman, eh? Being a Roman soldier or a lady. Beautiful art and architecture back in those days. We have the lily. Love. And we have the tree. So just from that alone, I kind of feel like in the time, if you've chosen this deck, that you would have a strong affinity towards mythology. You might even be in, Greek mythology or Roman mythology. You might even be into something like astrology. If not, I feel there's a strong connection to architecture, history, innovative thinking, innovative design of structures. It doesn't matter if you're a masculine or a feminine at this point, watching this. I feel like if you are a feminine, you have a deep appreciation for beautiful architecture. If you are masculine in this lifetime, I feel like you are someone who's drawn to making or creating beautiful architecture. And this could be anything from self-help DIY things at home to actually being an architect. Okay. Um, I feel like the Greek and Roman cultures are deeply ingrained in your DNA because we have the tree there. The tree to me is that lineage, the DNA connection over lifetimes, your ancestors, that your health issues sometimes that you might have, that you might be struggling with, could be tied to your previous lives that you had spent in Greece and in Rome. So there is that bit of information. So you could most probably Google and see what type of ailments those people from that part of Europe generally suffer from, and see if there is a connection between your physical well-being and that. That's one of the things that come up. But I feel like what in your past life that is stepping to the front now, relationships was very important to you. And I feel if you were masculine, that you basically spent a life with a feminine who was very loyal to you, who was very wise. I feel like there's a very protective energy around you from the feminine in that lifetime, that feminine, important females, feminine prominent feminine people like queens or priestesses would have kept you in high regard. I also feel like you would have been a healer in that lifetime, because we do have the tree, which is the healing card. It's health. It is an understanding of DNA. It's an understanding of what it is that you need to be able to have a strong constitution. You could have even been a herbalist, someone working with herbs. But I feel like you were someone who was very compassionate. You had a gentle way about you, and that your mother would have played a very important part in your upbringing in that lifetime. So we have third eye here, and I feel like you potentially have a lot of dreams. Maybe sometimes when you wake up after sleep, that there would be remembering being in battle or something about Rome, maybe the statues, the art, visiting Rome. Maybe you have even an affinity or a vision, a dream, something that you want to achieve in this lifetime that you can see for yourself. Traveling to Greece and Rome, experiencing the history there. Um, things of, like the art in depicting Rome and Greece is always very beautiful. You're drawn to it. It makes you feel feelings. It touches your heart. And I feel like what you're bringing over from that life to this life is the connection that you have with your mother. Either that connection needs to be healed, especially with the tree, or you feel very supportive by your mother or feminine figures. This could be grandparents. This could be even your wife. If you're a masculine, this could be someone who's supportive of you in the way of a grandparent, mother figure, wife. and they bring healing to you now in this lifetime, which is a spillover from your previous life, or their support that they've given you that now is spilling over into this life, especially with a tree there. And I feel like you kind of know this. You just feel like your safety zone and people that you can trust is someone from the feminine. If you're a feminine person watching this, the same goes for you. There's a close bond with your mother, or there is healing that needs to be done in your connection with your mother. But I feel like it is more supportive than it is hard work. Okay, so let's get you some tea leaf cards on this. This is very interesting. I feel like the talents that you've brought over from the previous life as being a healer, being very good at relationships, having a sensitivity when it comes to other people and communicating, sort of like a Libra energy. I see Venus and I see Libra. So being diplomatic, okay, and being caring and loving in relationships, and having sympathy, having the ability to sympathize and empathize with other people as well. So we have the fox. Shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. Okay, that I feel like that is what you are maybe on your path now. Someone working against you behind your back. And I'm going to do another one. I also feel like the deception that you might have had in the past life could have also been deception in business. Okay, that you had to suffer some losses in business in your past life. I want one more card to go for under the tree. And I feel like you might have also, to a certain extent, experienced deceit in relationships. Okay. Waiting for news, a package, or letter. So maybe you have been waiting for this type of reading to transform. Maybe you've been waiting for this type of information to shed some light on your current situation, because our past lives bring information to us that would give us a deeper understanding of our current life. That's why some people do past life regressions, okay? And so I feel like this information is something that you've been waiting for to put things into place for you. And it might explain why you have this affinity with what I see is the wisdom of in Afrikaans we have a saying directly translated, it means wisdom of the gray. In other words, people who have been through the block, people who have been around the blocks a couple times. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. People who have been around the block a couple times, okay, and they have a lot of wisdom that they bring with them. So you value that, okay. I just want to bring you value that about older people, especially older women, because they speak from the heart, they speak their truth. But I feel like you can trust women better because there was some other deception that had happened in your past life that might have made you distrust the masculine, okay. And you've been waiting for this news as to why is it that I have this affinity towards wiser people, specifically women, that is always there to assist me. Why are these people just coming out of nowhere and they're helping me? They don't know me from a bar of soap. That's part of your soul family, your soul tribe, okay? And they're stepping in to bring you comfort. So we have Tiger, doing something risky, taking a chance. We have Dogs, getting together with friends. And we have Gavel, involved with the law. So I feel like maybe in this lifetime there is something that is transpiring. It's taking you in a direction where you are having experiences that's more positive when it comes to people. Your confidence is also buoyed by feminine people around you, giving you confidence to take calculated risks, okay? But I feel this is a calculated risk because we do have the tree there. The tree is about being very sensible, getting together with friends. So I feel like even though you might have experienced some deception in the past, that somehow through your heart staying open and through the support of feminine around you who make sure that you feel emotionally nourished, you have the past experiences of deceit didn't damage you to the point where you don't trust people anymore. I feel like that open heart and the support that you've received from feminine in your past life as well as carried over into this life is supporting you to keep your heart open so that you can still manage to form deep bonds with friends and people you trust around you. And if you are involved with the law now, I feel that it is something that you've practiced in the past, most probably being a judge or something in your previous life, okay? And maybe you even had a vision. Maybe you need to make a career decision at this point in time um, about do I want to get involved with the law, or you've decided to take up a career path in with involvement in the law and you're waiting for news for that to come. And I feel like such a career, if you have an interest in the law and being bringing justice to this world, I feel like this is something that you have seen coming. It's not a surprise. It is something that you kind of knew about yourself for a very long time that you would go in that direction. But it's also a vision that you have for yourself to be able to bring injustice in this world. So let me know what you thought of this reading. It's the first time I'm reading Past Life. It was a beautiful reading, I feel like, especially with this open heart and the support from feminine coming through for you. And this comes from your past life, okay? You were meant to be nourished and supported by these people to keep your heart open so that you could overcome the challenging lessons of deceit. But it also taught you how to be true to yourself and how to still be shrewd in business, how to do things in the right way, because it's the law. You want to do it the right way, but you've been very shrewd about it because you have been burned in the past. So that's beautiful. You are you're rocking this lifetime by with potential to be very successful because you're a very visionary person, especially with this third eye. And it says purple there, so you might be drawn to the color purple as well. Violet, anything like that would stimulate your vision if you feel like you're not quite sure where you want to go in this lifetime. Okay, when I say where you want to go, I mean which direction, especially if you have a choice to make. Okay, so now let's go into our second reading. Okay. Your past life, wars and battles. Woo-wee. See the gun smoke, see them fighting? So you would have been a soldier, or you would have been in the military. Let's put that there. In the military. So we have the fish. I feel like you would have come from a very wealthy family. We have the rider. And we have the tower. Okay. So I feel in your past life, even though you're someone who had fought many battles and you've been a soldier. Sorry, my camera's gone out of focus again. Okay. And you've been a soldier. I feel like you would have had also come from a family that was fairly wealthy. Okay. That you chose to serve your country. You chose to serve your, how do I say it, a political party or something like that. Not because you had to, but because you wanted to. I also feel like one of the important roles that you did play as a soldier was to bring messages. I know I come from South Africa, so the way that they used to relay messages or get messages quick from one point to another was to have a person on a horse, okay? A person on a horse bringing the messages. And I feel like even though you were in wars, I don't feel like you were in the front line. I feel like you were playing an integral part in messaging. So, for instance, you would have been a horse rider that took messages from one camp to the other, or you were the person who did the Morse code thing back in the day. So it was with communication. I feel like, even though with the messages, that even espionage, I feel even getting information that was maybe secretive, because we have the fish there. Fish is very deep, hidden, sort of card, but it's also a card of money. And with a tower there, I feel like you would have been working or being a soldier for, most probably long term. I don't feel like in this life that we're talking about, I don't feel like you were just a soldier for a couple of years. I feel like you served in the military for quite some time, that was sort of like a career for you, and that you were very good at it, and that there was also, it provided you with financial security. So we have red, passion, survival. And yes, the reason why you were so good, because as I said, I felt like you made a career out of it, because you had a strong instinct for survival. Even though you were a soldier, I don't feel like you were, killed in battle. I feel like you were one of the ones who lived to tell many stories about your experiences in the military, okay? So this could have been anything from the Second World War, because when we incarnate, there's no time frame to say, well, you have to wait for 60 years to lapse. Well, you can incarnate at any time, okay, reincarnate. So I feel like this could have been Second World War. This could have been even the Vietnam War. This could have been um, the Civil War. But you will know which areas this will fit in for you, especially if you have an interest in history and specific wars, if you have an interest or an aversion to, okay? But in your case, I feel you might be interested in wars and battles fought, that maybe when you were little you used to want to read books on it or listen to grandpa telling stories, something like that. Now I'm going to give you some tea leaf cards, okay? And we're going to see what else came up with you. I feel like you were also very kept in high regard, because there's passion and survival. So that passion and survival means that as someone in the military, those are the type of qualities that soldiers that are highly decorated normally have, okay? Um, okay, so tea leaves. I don't get anything more. We have skull. Hidden secrets can harm you. So I feel like I did say hidden messages, okay? So I feel like in the past, when you were with this espionage, you might have carried very sensitive information that could have cost you your life if you were caught with that information in your possession, okay? Dragon, beware of self-delusion. Um, So I feel like that could have been a trait in the past life where even though you were someone who was very passionate and knew how to survive, that there were some situations where you could have self-sabotaged, okay? Spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So I do feel like over time there is a lot of things that start to make sense, especially when you might have done a past life regression, or you might be interested to do a past life regression. Um, and normally you go for these type of sessions when you are in a spiritual growth period. So there is a lot of this past life information that might even come to you this specific life, because remember, we have more than one, we have multiple lifetimes we've spent in this dimension. And I'm still baffled as to why I come back every time. That's, sorry, that's my sense of humor. So I just feel like there is a lot of information coming to you here, okay, that is bringing light and understanding of your current life for you. So we have also and work achievement and success, which I feel is I do feel like you were highly decorated in the military, broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. And I feel like your career in the military might have been very hard on your personal life, okay? That relationships was something that was very difficult for you, because maybe there was a lot of distance between you and the person you loved, your person. Or it could have been, I kind of feel like not only distance, but maybe your person couldn't wait for you. Because this card falls underneath this beware of self-delusion. So I feel in this lifetime, when it comes to relationships, you might have thought that if you were in love with a lady, and I feel like in this case this could be a masculine waiting, watching this, but if you are a feminine, you could have been, the women, they were instrumental in wars when it came to getting information. And, especially when it comes to Second World War, there's a lot of stories and movies concerning women playing part in receiving and passing on valuable information. And I feel like maybe because of your career in the military, that there was the self-deception that you had, that if you were in a relationship that your person would wait for you, but they didn't. So there would have been a little bit of a disappointment in relationships, but in your career and what you did as a soldier or someone who fought battles and being connected to wars, you were very successful, I feel. So one more card, please. One more card. I also feel like in your past life you would have been a very accomplished horse rider. I feel like a love for horses might also be something that you currently experience in this lifetime. You might have a passion for horses, a passion for riding, okay? And I feel also for relaxation, you might like the ocean. And you might have traveled across the water for wars. Like if you think of Gallipoli, where the soldiers had gone by boat to get to the beaches to access the, what do you call it, the war zone, so to speak. Maybe even submarines, I feel. Maybe there's an interest of submarines. One more card. Okay. So we have these two. Someone will gossip about all your secrets. So I feel like in the past that even though you were the keeper of secrets, that someone else might have maybe sold you out and you could have gotten into trouble for it. But we also have honor, respect will come to you. So, in many ways, I feel you've triumphed over your enemies in the past in the way of wars and battles, because you were cunning, okay? Um, you knew how to achieve. You were goal driven. Your very strong personality was take charge, very strong leadership skills. And I feel like you were decorated, and but there would have been challenges about people gossiping about you, wondering what you were up to. Just shady characters who you knew most probably you couldn't trust in that lifetime. So thank you for watching. Please give me feedback on this and hit the like button, okay? I love reading for you. And remember, if you're a feminine watching this, females, the feminine will also play huge parts in wars and battles, you know? Okay, so our next bundle is this one. I'm not sure what they call this stone. I just like it. I see it, I like it, I buy it. Okay, so your lifetime. Unrequited love. Ooh, I think this could be mine. Yeah, unrequited love. Let's have a look, shall we? We have the letter. We have the ring. And we have the dog. That's beautiful. And then we have lucid dream, awareness, and opportunities. Okay. So I feel like in this case with this unrequited love situation, that even though you loved someone deeply and they might not have returned your feelings, that you stayed true to them, you stayed loyal to them. I feel like you declined other proposals because you loved your person so much. You decided to stay alone and single by yourself, okay, in spite of you receiving other offers from loyal friends, that you would have, if doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, but maybe if you're masculine, you would have maybe written a letter to your beloved, okay, and she would have rejected you. Or maybe your beloved had sent you a letter of rejection and say, I've moved on. But I feel like there's such a deep loyalty to this person that you felt that this is the person that I would marry, and I stay loyal to this person even though that love never transpired in that lifetime, okay. I also feel like you never married because you felt like it would have been unfair to the other person to make such a serious commitment, and on how do I say it, you never married because you felt it would be unfair to make such a long-term commitment to someone and you not being fully invested in it. Okay, so you also wanted to be fair. You were loyal to your love, and it says scales, keep your life in balance. I feel like that is what you did in spite of having this person that you deeply cared about who didn't return your feelings. Bowl, plenty of material things. I feel instead of then focusing on relationships, you focused on your wealth, okay, your material wealth. Dog barking, advice from a friend. And look, that one is just below. Advice from a very loyal friend you had in the past concerning the situation. And you might have even been dreaming about your person. Maybe you wake up in the morning and you realize that you saw a lady or a masculine person who might have, you just have feelings when you wake up. Maybe you have feelings of love, maybe you have feelings of disappointment or sadness about this person. We have wedge. Someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. Okay, so now it makes sense. Romance, celebration, party. We're going to tell you this whole love story right here, right now. That's a beautiful love story, even though it ends sad because it's unrequited, right? And that one just fell out. And look where this one fell. Angel, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. Love it. Okay, so what had transpired was You might have had a very loyal friend, okay, with who you trusted, and you might have shared information about your feelings for your person, and your friend tried to come between you and your person, and they did this at a party or a celebration. They might have gossiped a bit, but I feel like in this lifetime you were protected, spiritually guided, not to get mixed up in that. Let's just say, call it a love triangle, like maybe your person, your friend also had interest um, in the same in the same person that you were interested in, but you were spiritually guided and protected from actually getting with a person that you loved so much, because I feel like there was a karmic situation between this person who drove a wedge between you and your beloved, okay? And they needed to get together in that lifetime to work that out. They might have had a spiritual contract, okay? This is like a contract, signed, sealed, and delivered, okay? That your beloved had a soul contract with your friend who was loyal, okay? And who gave you advice, which at the end of the day, even though it seemed like it was a wedge that was driven between the two of you from your best friend's advice, it was actually a blessing in disguise. So you might see those type of themes spilling into your life now. Maybe you know of love triangles, other people's love triangles playing out around you. Maybe you are in a love triangle yourself, or a third party situation, let's call it that. And maybe you've met your person currently at a party or a celebration, or a social gathering, and that when you how do I say it, you might even have awareness of people who are currently in your life, that they are connected to you from a distant past, okay, because there will be a sense of familiarity. And I feel like if you wanted to do something like a past life regression, that you will find that this energy might even spill over into this life, where you will actually maybe marry a loyal friend, or you have married a loyal friend, someone who you feel is really there for you, someone who's very good with a written word, because we do have the letter here, someone who knows how to express themselves verbally, write you love letters. I feel like this could be in this lifetime where there's a spillover, and maybe even if you're very happily married, or very happy in a current relationship, that this person could potentially be your unrequited love from your previous life, because they couldn't fulfill that contract with you in the previous life. You had to wait until this lifetime to be able to reunite with your person, and through spiritual guidance, again stepping in and helping to bring the two of you together in spite of everything that happened in the past. Now, see the scales here as well. The scales is about balance, okay? And to me, it is like in the past life, if you had to go without that love, the scales will be balancing it out in this lifetime by giving you and making that love available to you. So thank you for watching. I love doing this reading for you. Please give me feedback. Light and love. Okay, on to the next reading. Nice light blue color, this one. And I need to take these down as well. It's your one. Number 4. Okay, your lifetime. Ships. Oh, this is beautiful. So you've been a sailor. You've been a pirate. Wow. you know how to navigate, that's for sure. You might have a affinity towards maps, navigation, anything to do with ships, yachts, boats. I feel like you could have been either a captain of a ship, or you might be building boats. Maybe even making those little miniature boats, drawing boats, you know. Or also maybe an affinity to the ocean. The camera's gone blurry. Camera, blurry. Oh, this is such a pain. Sorry, folks. Doesn't want to come back. Okay, we just carry on. So we have the scythe. We have flowers, the bouquet, and we have the cross. High Council, evolution, information, and potential. That's good, means you're very well connected to the spiritual realm. Okay? That there are people overseeing your life path at this point in time, and they are helping you to cut out heavy burdens. Okay? So I feel in the past, you would have been someone who let me think. A religion would have played a very important factor in your life, okay? And you might have been even the type of person who crossed oceans on boats to be able to spread the good word, okay? But I also feel with the bouquet there that you are someone who had really good intentions towards other people. You were someone who was very generous towards other people, who were very giving them presents, giving them information, you know, very open on a heart level. But I feel like with the scythe here that there was definitely some sacrifices that you had to make, especially if you were a clergyman or if you were a feminine, that there was sacrifices that you had to make for your religion, sacrifices you had to make for your belief system. And I feel like you might have had to leave your country, go to a different country, immigrate for your religion. I also resonate with this. So this could go back to like the Protestant Catholic type skirmish that they had in Europe, and the Protestants had to leave Europe. The French Huguenots come to mind, okay? But if you don't have connection to the French, it could be, you know, just put it where it fits in your DNA line. But I feel you had to flee for your life because we have the scythe there, cutting out. Okay, you had to cut off something to be able to keep your religion. You might have to cut off where you live or your land, your country, your people, to be able to get to a place where you could, you know, be more who you are, you know, in the way of your religion. But I feel like there's a strong hands-on type of energy coming in here for you as well. Affinity with ships and travel across the water, maybe even an affinity with wind. I feel sails, how the sails play in the wind and the dynamics of wind. And I feel like the High Council, you have a lot of knowledge you bring in, spiritual knowledge that you had gained over many many lifetimes. And I feel like you have brought that energy into this lifetime, that religion or spirituality, especially with the High Council, that I feel like you might have made the transition from growing up religious in the first part of your life and then switching to becoming spiritual. Okay. Let's get you some tea leaf cards. So I feel also like you are someone who has the ability to cut out people, that you don't think twice to cut out people in your life who doesn't serve you, and that is something that you have brought over from your previous life, where you had to really use your discernment on who is with you and who is against you, and basically just get rid of any and everyone who wasn't on your page, okay? You have a natural ability to do that. Some people find it difficult to move on. You have no problem with that whatsoever. So see where this one fell. Lightning, control your anger or you'll be sorry. So maybe you had a little bit of a temper as well. When you, in your previous life, disappointment in a friend or a lover. Then we have scissors, disappointment in some affair. There's a lot that fell out. Needle and thread, a sincere wish will be granted. Cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life. Teardrops, great personal sorrow. So all of this, I feel like all of this you can put into context with a past life, okay? It says whale, great worry over nothing. Key, successful outcome to your problems. And lily, spiritual love. So this makes truly sense to me about the battles that you had to fight in your previous life. Had a lot to do with you losing your cool with other people, okay? And when you get angry, you just used to cut them out and say, I'm done, I can't deal with this. And there was a lot of disappointments you in people, in friends. And I feel like when people criticize maybe for your religion, or they didn't understand where you came from, or you need to leave the country, or you need to be able to move around and spread the good word, whatever your mission was back in your previous life, when people couldn't understand that, you felt like you didn't have the time to sit and reason it out with them. You didn't have a lot of patience, so you just cut people out because you needed to keep your life simple, okay? And I feel like with the scissors and the scythe there, that's cutting things out. It's just to say, I can't do this. I need to keep it simple. I need to move forward. And sometimes you would even, be concerned about things that wasn't all that much. Maybe you made mountains out of molehills, that kind of personality, especially when you were angry and you weren't balanced in your energy. You would have a short temper and just blow everything out of proportion, or a hot temper. A sincere wish will be granted. And then because you were dissatisfied with life, and I feel like there's this, it's a cracked teacup, but it's like on a path there. So I feel like that disappointment and that is the things that had, and the personal sorrow and the great losses that you suffered, that is what it actually instigated you moving to a different country, immigrated, get on the ships, build the ships, make the ships so you could get out, even maybe preaching on ships, or spending a lifetime on ships because you loved the ocean, you loved ship, maybe you're captain of a ship, but you were very successful in the final outcome, okay? And your spirituality, your spiritual growth, your religion is what really kept you going in the previous life. And that is why in this lifetime you also feel like your spirituality and your religion or your belief systems is an immense support for you. You have a close connection. You're not the type of person who can go through life without believing in something, okay? So I hope you enjoy this reading. Give me feedback, give me a like, subscribe, okay? Thank you for watching. On to the next reading. Okie dokie. Last one. This a little, I think it's a little rose quartz or something. It's beautiful. It's a light pink color. Your lifetime. Orphan. Okay, so that's self-explanatory, being an orphan. We have mice. Key. I feel like you're a survivor, even though you were an orphan. And stars. Yes, you are a survivor. So you would have brought that energy with you from the previous life. Like no matter what life hands to you in the way of diminishing your resources, whether this is money, food, place to stay, your basic survival needs. Whatever life presents you, even in this life, to work against you, or it feels like life is working against you in the way of the challenges that it brings you, you have an innate ability to find solutions for things that hold you back, for things that pushes against you, like going against the wind. You have solutions to each and every problem, trial, tribulation, challenge. You will overcome it because you are naturally someone who seeks a solution to any given problem, anything that you feel work against you. Okay, that comes from your previous lifetimes of being an orphan, where you had to learn how to survive in a tough world. Okay, and then we have gifts, past life review. Oh, there's two sticking to each other. Oh, okay. So this is unusual. Past over loved ones, comfort, forgiveness, and support, and past life gifts and review. So I feel like they are, if you were an orphan in this lifetime, or you were adopted, that is an energy that is spilled over from your previous life into this lifetime. If you weren't adopted, or maybe you were even passed on to be raised not by your maternal mother and father, but maybe you were raised by an auntie or a grandma, or you grew up in a different household, because I feel like there is other people around you when it came to you being nourished and taken care of, okay, as a child. So there's always been support for you, either from people who had crossed over, like on the other side, okay, but people connected to you by DNA, like your ancestors, grandparents, people from your family tree. And you might also be interested in doing, a past life regression. That's why you're watching this video. Okay, so I'm terrible with laying out cards. Sorry. I always need to adjust them. So we have an orphan, and we have people who watched out for them from the other side, who had crossed over. And they gave you comfort in that lifetime when you were orphaned. And there's a lot of things that will make sense to you in this lifetime, okay, concerning your nature. And I kind of feel like if you were an orphan in the previous life, that maybe in some instances you might have brought in an energy with you where it's difficult for you to trust people, or maybe you're finding it difficult to find a sense of belonging in this lifetime. But I feel like with the solutions that you have, and from being a very versatile person to overcome challenges, that it is bringing you, it brought you a huge amount of success. That even though you started off in your previous life with from a very challenging position, that in that lifetime that you had achieved success, maybe even being in the spotlight, because the stars is someone who is broadcasting, who is in the spotlight, who is well known universally, in a broad sense of like in the community, and even international. It's more international, okay, but someone who had the ability to reach out to large groups of people and be acknowledged for it. Now there's a lot of cards that fell out here. We have firecracker, which is excitement, keep your life in balance, valley, deep personal strength and peace that assures success. That is what kept you going, was that no matter what life brings you, you just don't know how to give up. It was something where it's like the hero rising from the knees, standing up after each and every blow. It's you just keep on getting up, okay? You don't know how to stay down or lie down. News of a birth and a new business opportunity. And then weeping willow, family sorrow. So being an orphan, there definitely would have been family sorrows, that's for sure. But in those times of sorrow, and maybe you experiencing sorrow in the family now because of energy that was brought from before, feeling maybe rejected or feeling I don't fit into this family, I don't belong in this family. That could also be some of the scenarios that's played out. But I feel like throughout it all, even though you were an orphan, you still wanted to be fair. Keep your life in balance means that you are, the scales are also stepping in. Maybe if you were in an orphan in the previous life, now you have a family where you do feel you belong. Okay, it's like bringing in the balance for that. So I want one more card, please. One more card for this lifetime. Being an orphan is very, very, very hard, but I feel like it often pushes you to have a very mature and adult approach to life. You might have even found that when you were little that people would say, oh, you're saying grown-up things, or you do grown-up things for your age. I feel that is that independent orphan spirit that is still present in you. You need to defend yourself. Okay, so that is definitely true. If you did grow up as an orphan, that you had to be very strong in, and maybe even having to be making quick decisions on your feet, because there's excitement here as well. So I don't feel like being an orphan diminished you in any way. On the contrary, I felt it made you someone who's become very versatile. You know how to defend yourself. You know how to stand your ground. Um, you you know how to keep the balance between family. Maybe if their family has a demand on you, then there is that balance, me versus family, and you know how to keep that balance. But also news of a birth or a new business opportunity, that could be a synchronicity for you in this lifetime. That fame that you had in your previous lifetime is now bringing that breakthrough for you in the way of a business opportunity to grow in your life, to bring you that success once again. And I feel like you're also experiencing themes of fame and being very good at something and have sudden breakthroughs and successes, while at the same time you have to deal with other situations which include sorrow and disappointment. So thank you for watching. Please give me feedback on this reading. I love reading for you. Please click that like button. Light and love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye. Bye now.